Yes, good that you're watching to the weekly Monday stream that we do here every Monday on the React channel. Of course, if you are new, subscribe. That would really help me out. We're almost at 10,000. Yeah, which is a nice milestone for this second channel, or not really second. It's like the third or the fifth. It's just how you count. But appreciate you being here. Of course, every week we discuss the gaming news together that I already touched on in the weekly Sunday video on the main channel. And I, of course, talk with you, have a good time. I already see a lot of familiar faces, which is nice. Hello, Makkerman, Paps Gaming, Melissa, Asil, and Mr. Kittler. Mr. Din is here too. Good to see you, good to see you. So yeah, we got some big news today, actually. So the Sunday video is already... It's already outdated, basically, because let's see. Do I need this? No. Because EA Sports, it's in the game. They have been bought, which kind of crazy. It's crazy. They will be acquired for $55 billion. Those EA CEO and or like higher ups are gonna be very, very rich from this deal. Hey Kim, also thanks for joining as well. Wisdom, Black Knight, Redwood Venom, appreciate everyone joining as always. Do you still play Ghost of Yote? Well, Wisdom, I do, but don't type in caps. I can see it without caps as well. Yeah, I'm still playing. I will do a Q&A, or you can actually answer your question or ask your questions, of course, in the chat. But I will also do a topic style video. So yeah, that will then be basically posted directly after this stream. So I will just go through some comments that people left under the review, and then afterwards we can, if there are still some questions you have, spoiler free, of course, then we can discuss them here. The Brazilian, good morning. Mugen the Drunk, good morning as well. But yeah, this is kind of wild news. The company says the buyout will accelerate its strategic vision to advance the future of entertainment. Basically, they're getting a lot of money. They're paying the people who have a share, or basically if you have shares, I mean, not you, but like if someone has shares, you get $210 per share, which is crazy. So that's a bit more than what it's trading at right now. And yeah, that is they want to finish this in Q1 of financial year 2027. So that would be from April until June. And what this basically means is that they don't have to do any quarterly earnings anymore. They're private, so they have no public shareholders. They are basically normally during these quarterly earnings, they have to publicly talk about what they are doing, how they're performing. And for example, one thing that happened last year was that EA Sports FC wasn't doing very well during the holiday period because they, I think, made some changes or something. And that caused their whole stock to drop and their revenue to go down. So they were kind of like, oh my God, we now have to make sure that we fix this soon because otherwise our financial year doesn't look that great. Then they made some more pro-consumer moves, I think. From like, I'm not really into the EA Sports FC sort of realm, but I do think they made some big changes that caused people to actually like what they were doing and made them more money. So we will see. It's more about the long term is what they're saying here. Because basically they can now work on a strategy, and if that strategy in the first few years would cause them to lose money, that doesn't matter because they're not answering to anyone that has a stock outside of the company. So they can work on that, and then hopefully in the end it pays off. But usually when, especially for $55 billion, the people that are involved, they want to see a return on that at one point. And what we then usually see in the gaming industry is that they will nickel and dime us, or that they will make some drastic changes that never really work out. They're never really, I think, in the best interest of the gamers, but just to make more profit. Of course, another big thing is that they might do a lot of layoffs, that the people that now have a major stake in Activision, or in EA. So it's the PIF, which basically the Saudi Arabia investment fund, which of course another wrinkle to this. Like, do you want them? Like, they got their hands in a lot of pies. They also own some part of Nintendo, but it's like a really small part. But yeah, they now got, basically they own EA as one of their major stakeholders. Silver Lake, of course, known for taking Dell. I did some research for the Sunday video. They took Dell private in 2013, and Dell was first a company really focused on consumer electronics, and then Silver Lake was like, we think there's more money in a company IT, so we're gonna switch it up. And then they basically took the company private. Behind the scenes, they were doing stuff, and then focus on IT for companies. Way more money there. In 2018, they went public again. Dell was valued almost 3 times as high as when Silver Lake bought it. So that is kind of their deal. They want to change things behind the scenes without having the public shareholders breathing down their necks, and then hopefully when they go public again in 5 years or maybe longer, they have a better company. But in terms of EA, like, what can they do? Where can they find? I mean, it feels like everyone is already playing EA Sports FC, right? The rumor is really that they're gonna focus on mobile games. That is where they think, okay, maybe we can leverage that even more. But I think there's already a FIFA mobile game, but maybe they want to go extra hard in that direction. Of course, Apex Legends tried it, but that game got cancelled. They had a Battlefield mobile game in development, also cancelled. We will see. It's at least fascinating. It's at least not I don't really play a lot of EA games. I will get angry if this means that Star Wars Jedi 3 is cancelled, or that all the single player games they're doing, that they're like, okay, with Ultimate Team, in 1 week we make more money or profit than we would get from Jedi 3, or that we would get from Iron Man, or that we would get from Mass Effect. So put those people on Battlefield maps, or I don't know, EA Sports FC modes instead. That go full Activision. Let's see. People are unhappy in the US about this. Carl, can you elaborate on that? Thomas, next DLC for Shadows is cancelled. Why do you ask that? No. Someone else is saying. TLA, it says, is the second DLC for Age of Shadows cancelled? No, we just don't know anything about it. Ubisoft has just not officially, like, the only thing we know is that there was a season pass with 2 DLCs. I think they still are going to do it, but because that DLC should then already be long in development. But I think Ubisoft is kind of looking at how Shadows is performing right now, and it's not good. I don't think it's very, very good compared to the other games. So the whole thing with Shadows was, oh, it's doing as well as Odyssey at this point in the life cycle. But I think that kind of went down. I think that maybe at launch they were, but remember, Odyssey wasn't really popular at launch. It just went, and at one point people were like, whoa, this is actually really good. When they were finished with Red Dead Redemption 2, they were like, I want another game. Oh, I heard Odyssey is actually good. But yeah, it's we will see. Of course, when we learn more about the Shadows side of things, I will let you know here. We first have a very, very generous super chat there from Ipsy. I appreciate you a lot. Pre-ordered a copy of Yote for this first day. Been listening to the soundtrack, and the track on Rio is phenomenal. I think this game will be my game of the year, even as fans of AC Shadows. I mean, I would argue that if you are a fan of Shadows, whoa, we got another like samurai game. I have to say, and again, we're gonna do the Q&A here in a moment. I have to say, at no point was I like, oh, I don't want to play an open world samurai game anymore. At no point. I never was like, Here we go again. It's another Ronin. It's another this. No, I really did not feel that. I think the fact that the Yote world is way more landscapes and farmlands, versus the more urban environments that Shadows has, is a nice like change of pace. Obviously, the game just plays way different. It's like, I really think comparing Yote and Shadows, it's like comparing Battlefield and Call of Duty. They're both shooters. Sure, they're both military shooters, but they play completely different. And I think that that's pretty much what you get here. I think that that's a good analogy. Will you announce the winner for the Claswawaji DLC? Yes, VZ Samuya. I should, right? I also have to announce the winner for the Yote giveaway. So yeah, that I will put that on my to-do list for tomorrow. Hey, having a hard day with my chronic illness. Glad to be here. Well, Fassi, take care. Take care. That doesn't sound great, but glad you could make it. How do you think this will... Kimiso is asking about the EA story. How do you think this buyout will affect the smaller studios like BioWare? Yeah, that's hard to say, but that's not where the profit is. That's kind of the issue with this whole EA thing. And also, if you listen to the EA investor calls, and I'm crazy enough to do that, they don't talk about these single-player games. It's all about the microtransactions that are basically 80% of their revenue right now. Dragon Age didn't do well, so... Right, and Iron Man, like, that's great, but you have to pay Marvel 25% of all your revenue. So that game has to sell a lot. And what we have really seen, and what has already been reported, is that Motive, the studio that made the Dead Space remake, they are working on the Iron Man game. They are the lead team for that. But instead of, like, working on Dead Space 2, or, like, doing a whole new Dead Space game, EA went to that team and was like, you are now making Battlefield maps or whatever. So, just like with what we saw with Activision, all these studios at first had their own identity are slowly becoming part of the Battlefield or Call of Duty factory. And yeah, I think at one point, if Battlefield 6 is super popular and it seems like that is the direction it's gonna go in, I do think we might hear a story at one point where it's like, yo, Iron Man is cancelled. Also now with this news, it's like, okay, like they are not investing $55 billion. They're not buying EA because they can have an Iron Man game that maybe, if they're lucky, sells 5 million, 6 million. So that is like that's like 200 million revenue, maybe more. And then 25, and then Marvel's like, we want our share. And yeah, instead of that, you could have those people, if we're just looking at it from a business sense, you could have those people work on Season 6 for Battlefield 6 and get the Battle Pass and all that sort of stuff. Probably makes them way more money. So, yeah, I'm kind of worried about the EA buyout affecting those single-player games that I want. Like, as long as they don't touch Jedi 3, keep your EA paws away. Like, I don't want anything to happen with Jedi 3. That would suck. If that game that would suck. We are looking at a trilogy here. To be fair, that's the only game I want from EA. And then I'm like, okay, do what you want. Go mobile. Go whatever. I don't care. But we need Jedi 3. Even though Stick, the game director, is not involved anymore. But I want that game. We need that game. That would suck to lose that game. But an Iron Man game, yeah, that would be fun. Would be really fun. I would prefer that over Battlefield Season, whatever, but yeah, looking for edit from a business perspective. I mean, they already canceled Black Panther. That's another one where you're like, oh, that could probably be a very profitable game for them, or what would be a very profitable game for Ubisoft? Like an Iron Man game that sells 5-6 million. That would be great for Ubisoft. If Star Wars Outlaws sold 5 million, they would be like, yeah, let's go. But for EA, it's like, okay, but we make, with this freaking gamble EA Sports FC, we make way more money. Mola Young, thanks also for the super chat. Appreciate you. What is your game of the year contender top 3? Wow, I really have to still think about it, and I have to catch up on quite some games. So, of course, the whole thing with having a YouTube channel that is about the big open world games and talking about the end game content, like Assassin's Creed Shadows, I've played 300 hours of that. That's something like that. Maybe less, but it feels like that. I mean, I'm the not 100 yet, but like the other max level, the new game plus, etc., etc. But I have to do that for the content, and I want to do that. But that does mean that I don't have time for a lot of other games that I still want to catch up on. But yeah, I think Yotei and Shadows will probably be in my top 3, and I know that's crazy for people who played a lot of other games. But I have to think about the other things that I still want to. Again, I have to catch up. I have Borderlands 4 on my PlayStation. I have Gears of War. Okay, those are not like Game of the Year contenders. I am like, it's so hard, and I'm not sure if anyone tried that, to go back to Expedition 33. So I have not finished it. I think I'm well on my way. But that game has so many, every character has all these combos and these skills, and I'm like, where was I? And then instead, like, I'm going, the first enemy I face, they have a mechanic too, and it's kind of hard to, I really have to kind of study, it feels, to get back into that game. But I do think that might be, probably not my number 1 though, but that will be high on the list too. So yeah, I basically still have to catch up on some games, but it feels that after Yotei has kind of settled down, there's nothing else that I want to really play this year apart from Where Winds Meet, which is another big open world game. But yeah, Yotei is totally in the top 3, and Shadows probably too. KCD2 is not my type of game, sadly. KCD2 is not my type of game. Make Motorhead, Chronos, definitely my top 3. That's awesome to hear. I mean, I really think the Game of the Year discussions or seeing people's personal lists is going to be very exciting this year, because there have been a lot of games, but they are all, like, they're not for everyone all the time. Like a GTA 6, everyone is going to play that. That would be, like, that makes sense. But I think this year, Expedition 33, like, even people that did not like turn-based games, they are still loving that. So, sure, it got a bigger audience, but that's still not the audience that plays Ghost of Yotei or something. Like, the people that want more action-focused games, Silk Song is the same. Like, if you don't like the challenge of that game is, or like the difficulty, I should say, is what turns some people off. But the people that do like it, love it. And for KCD2, again, as an open world fan, I am someone who loves the quality of life. And that game is like super realistic with your weapons getting broken and having to repair that and no fall damage and the combat is for me just not exciting enough. So while I really think that they did an amazing job with that game, looking at the size of the team and just the polish and the quality, I totally see why people love that game. But I tried it and it feels like I'm playing a PC game on console, and I just can't. There are too many menus, and now we're gonna explain a new system, 5 pages, and no, it's not for me. KCD2. Just use yeah, I will get back to Expedition 33 for sure. What's the budget for the AC Black Flag remake? I don't know, Harrington. I hope it's unlimited, so they can make it as good as possible. Obviously, that's not the case. AC Black Flag game length. I mean, same length plus 4 hours, right? The Little Sumo. Am I streaming Yotei Day 1? Yeah, on the main channel, I will do an open world stream for Yotei. So, I think that is the best way to do it. So, no main stories, just going in the open world, and then you will see that it's really well done. It's really well done. I'm gonna do the Q&A because I see some people I'm gonna ask Tile about the Shadows 2 about the Shadows DLC if I have the answer, but of course, when I learn more, I will let you know. Of course, this weekend is also the Mirage anniversary, so keep an eye out for that. Let's see. Of course, I already see some cool questions. I'm gonna do a Q&A. I prepared comments that people shared under the review for Ghost of Yotei. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up one of those comments on the screen and then talk about it. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So for example, like this. And then we're gonna go through it. And then I'm gonna answer the questions that I saw the most. I went through all the comments. These are like the most common questions. If there are still questions you have after that segment, let's discuss. But now it's time for a quick segment here where we discuss all those questions. Of course, no spoilers whatsoever. I don't do story spoilers at all. I want you to experience the game for yourself, obviously. No gameplay, I will just talk. So let's do it. As you might know, I finished Ghost of Yotei thanks to an early code from Sony, and I saw a lot of questions about the game under my review that you can find on the main channel for if you haven't watched it yet. No story spoilers, of course, but in this video I want to answer the questions that I saw the most. So of course, if your question was not answered, you can still drop it in the comments, and then I will do my best to answer them. Let's start with this one. How many hours of playtime would you say it has, and replay ability? So they already kind of said this before launch, but Ghost of Yotei has a similar length to Tsushima. Dennis from the JorRaptor team mainlined the game. I don't recommend it, don't do that. But that took him 18 hours. But he still has a ton of extra content. I am now at 40 hours and I still have some content left. I think to do everything, probably get the platinum if you're really focused on that, it's 50 hours. I rolled credits at around 30 hours. 32 hours. So, yeah, good to keep that in mind. If you just play like me and then, yeah, you just take the game as it comes, that's the best way to do it. Then you probably roll credits at around 30 hours, but then still have a lot of extra content to do. And I'm actually now finding new, like there are some things that only happen as well. Like there's not really an end game, but there is some cool stuff. So there is totally stuff that you want to experience that keeps you playing. But replayability, a cool feature that Tsushima added after launch was a camp replay. So the camp would basically be repopulated and you could go through the camp again. That's not in the game at launch. And I've also seen a lot of other questions like regarding New Game Plus, and that is sadly also not in the game at launch. So I really hope that they maybe share a blog post at launch or talk about it soon where they're like, yo, we're working on these features. The loadout system that was added to Tsushima later on is in the game. So you can have 5 loadouts in the game. Another thing that is in the game at launch is the lethal difficulty. We have a question about here as well. So that is basically a difficulty where, yeah, you kill an enemy really, really quickly, but you take a lot of damage as well. So, yeah, 1 hit, 2 hit enemies, you die quickly too. It's a really fun way to play the game. I've not tried it yet, but that will totally be something I will try because it's kind of awesome. But yeah, that is available at launch. But I wish there was a camp replay feature, especially for content if I want to do a cool build. Right now, I have a lot, like, I'm doing all the content. I only kind of have the camps left because the moment I complete the camp, I cannot do it again. And there are not a lot of patrols in the world. So that kind of sucks. I do hope they add the feature very, very soon, the camp replay. So I also saw this comment and I thought this was very interesting. So all of a sudden Ghost of Tsushima is repetitive, has only a handful of encounters, yet reviewers gave glowing reviews and never mentioned these issues. So I think it's always fun when starting a sequel to go back to the review for the first game. So let's do that together. I pulled up this section from my review from 2020. So basically, what I said here and what many reviewers said, people just forget it, and I get it. Like I also had to go back to the review and be like, oh yeah, that's how it was, because I played the game with the director's cut in the Iki Islands, but yeah, it's like good for a refreshment. But yeah, the random encounters in this game were really, really lackluster. It was really your first, like it was, you saw that this was Sucker Punch's first open world RPG type game, right? With a bigger open world than just the city that we saw in Infamous. And a cool part is that in Yotei, this is completely different. This is the biggest jump from Tsushima, because, and I'm now playing through the game again to like for the tips and tricks video, and now I kind of see what they're doing, but it's basically almost everything you come across in this world is handcrafted. There are a few patrols that you will encounter a couple of times, like they're like two settlers running with a horse, or like kind of going to a location, and when you talk to them, they talk about, oh, you've been traveling for a long time. You should see you should go to an onsen to chill out, and then you will get an onsen location on your map. And you have like some like enemy patrols. These are random. The rest is all handcrafted, all curated. Sometimes it's linked to a location that you can then later fast travel to, like just like in Tsushima, every location in the world you can fast travel to, which is still kind of crazy. And the speed at which you can fast travel in this game is like, and you're in the game. When you boot up the game, and it's like, okay, I'm ready to, oh, I'm already in, oh, I wasn't even ready to play yet, but the game has already loaded. It's really, really great. But yeah, basically the biggest jump from Tsushima, having only the hostage, having only the Mongol patrols, and seeing them over and over and over again with the same dialogue and stuff, it's not here. Every encounter, almost every, apart from the two I mentioned, is handcrafted, has different dialogue. I love going to the returning activities, so the bamboo strike. I never really liked the bamboo strike in the first game. Here I'm excited. Okay, what's gonna be the story that I encounter here? What twists are they giving? Even the onsens have like twists. So it's just really, really well done, and I just cannot wait for you to experience that for yourself. So that is the biggest jump from Tsushima. The world is really, really good, and I said it in the review as well. I dare to say it. It comes close to Red Dead Redemption 2, and that's crazy to say. That's, of course, crazy to say. So we have a question. How is the customization? Is there a good number of armors? There are 12 armor sets in the game that you can earn. I think it's a good amount. They all offer different perks for one playstyle, but you have to look for them. Yeah, you really have to look for them. They're all hidden in the open world. You only get a few, like 3 through the main story, so that's not a lot. And yeah, they all look awesome. They change again when you upgrade them, so that's very nice. My gripe with it is that, like, I wish, coming from Assassin's Creed Shadows, yes, I will compare the game to Shadows, don't worry, in a moment. I do wish you could, like, mix and match a bit. Right now, it's really, okay, you are either the archer, you're either the melee fighter, or you're either the stealth character. I wish we could mix and match. I wish I could put the perk from the ranged build that upgrades my arrows on a stealth armor. So, because ranged is actually the best stealth in this game, because your arrows, nobody hears it. But then I want to have both, but I can't. So, also, there's no transmog, which kind of sucks. But to be fair, to be really, really fair, the armor sets and the perks don't really matter that much. It's more the charms that are back that, of course, give these passive bonuses that are way more impactful to your playstyle. But yeah, it's basically kind of similar. Another thing I will say about customization, there are a ton of masks. And an awesome thing in this game is that, what I wished Shadows had as well, if you see a cool mask from an enemy, high chance you can get it as well. So that's really, really cool. And then the dye vendors are back. So the white dye vendor, the black dye vendor. There are other ones as well. So there's a ton. You can really change your character quite a lot. The weapon kits are back. There are these pillars where you can go to that give you a weapon kit. I don't really care about them that much. They're only cosmetic. They don't like impact the gameplay or anything. But yeah, that type of customization is also in the game. Then I quickly want to touch on the wolf, We have a question here. Wait, one guy said if you fully upgrade the skill tree, you can play the song to summon the wolf. Is this true? So there is, of course, a wolf companion in the game. I don't want to talk about it too much, but yeah, he shows up, or he or she shows up in the game, and like randomly. And there are basically, the more wolf dance you do, the more befriend you get with the wolf. The more often they show up. And it's a nice extra. It's totally not necessary to focus on that if you don't want to. But it's a pretty cool activity, and it's just a fun little twist. And there's one thing in particular that I'm not gonna say that is really, really cool with the wolf. When I saw that, I was like, what the heck? So, not story related or anything, but gameplay related. How is the bounty system? Is it like AC Odyssey? So, there are bounties in the game, but it's very much that... So, there are actually two sides to the bounty system, but the core of the bounty system is basically... There are bounty boards in the certain settlements, and on a bounty board, you have the different targets, and then you pick... you basically get the targets, and then on your map, you will see an area of the map highlighted, like highlighted text, because that is where those characters were last seen. So you basically go there, explore the area, and then find the bounty target. And yeah, comparing to Shadows, I mean, we're already doing it kind of in the video. These characters have way more personality. You're really, they have a small story, they have a cool twist, a gameplay twist. It's really, really, I love the bounty content in the game, and they're in every region. Give some pretty cool rewards sometimes as well. And then you also have the other side of it, and that is that you are being hunted by Ronin. So you can also find a poster, yeah, with your sort of thing on it. And yeah, you can remove it. You get your spirit back that you can use to heal yourself and stuff. But it's just like a fun roleplay thing. But yeah, there are a lot of Ronins in the world. Again, it's all handcrafted content. It's not like Odyssey, where it's like random. Like in that game, they have the whole mercenary system and these characters just spawn randomly. No, in Yotei, you basically run into the Ronins in a handcrafted sequence, and they are all hunting you. But it really creates a cool dynamic in all the missions, that you are going after the target, but there are also other characters going after the target, and oh yeah, let's work together or not. And it's really cool. It's really cool. So it's not as dynamic, it's not unlimited, but it's just a part of the story in a handcrafted sense. I saw a question about the stealth compared to the first game. I have to be honest, I did not only until much later I toyed around with the stealth. It's still very powerful. You can one-shot many, many enemies. And then critical strike the big guys. But then also upgrade it that you can insta-kill the big guys. There's the smoke bomb is back. So you can use that again, which is kind of awesome. But yeah, the bow is basically so strong that you can pick off enemies from range. There's a cool armor set that adds some cool perks to your ranged capabilities. Basically like a chain assassination, but then also throwing a kunai, so kind of like in Assassin's Creed, where you then, in Mirage we had it, of course, in Valhalla, where you take the character out with a throwable weapon at the end. So that's all kind of cool, but yeah, this is where Shadows, I think, does a better job. Nowadays, like a more fun stealth character, and also the encampments are better suited for stealth in Assassin's Creed Shadows than in Yotei. And yeah, it just for me, I never saw this game as let's do a full stealth run. I only saw it as, oh, that's nice to skip the fight and insta kill the enemy. But yeah, I would not. I do think the people that really loved stealth in Tsushima, the upgrade is not as noticeable here, sadly. So another question I saw a lot was PC when. A crazy part about the PC release for Ghost of Tsushima was that it was 4 years later. So yeah, the director's cut on PC launched in May 2024. I think Yotei will come to PC much faster than that, so not 4 years, but it's still going to be a while. I think it's going to be maybe early 2027 if I had to guess, because that's kind of what we're seeing now. For example, Spider-Man 3 or Spider-Man 2 launched at the end of 2023, and then it came to... Was it in 20... No, wait. It launched in 2020... Wow. I'm blanking. Wait, I have to look this up. But I think Spider-Man... Did it come to PC this year? Yeah, it came to PC. Okay, so I had it right. So Spider-Man 2 came to PC in 2023, also in October. Or like the October-September window. And then it came to... Like Spider-Man 2 came to PlayStation 5 in 2023, also in the September-October window. And then early 2025, so like a year and a few months later, it came to PC in February. So I think we're seeing that's what Yotei is going to do as well. So I would say February 2027 is likely when you see the game in on PC, if I had to guess. And of course, next year we get the Legends multiplayer as well on PS5. So I'm sure that then after that, like when it launched on PC, you get the Legend multiplayer basically instantly. And yeah, I've already touched on it a bit, but how would you say Yotei fits between Ace Shadows as far as exploration, environment, weather effects, and combat? So this was a question I saw a lot. I should probably do at one point a video comparing the two, and yeah, you will then have played it as well, so that's gonna be interesting to hear from you. But an easy one, like the weather effects. Shadows really, like one of their biggest focuses was upgrading the engine, right? Improving. Basically, we're finally ditching PS4, Xbox One. This is what we can do. And we're working on this engine because then all the future Assassin's Creed games can use all the technical advancements that we're making. And so yeah, both games, technical marvels. A thing that Yotei does really well is the draw distance. You always see that big mountain or like something huge in the distance. It's very incredible. But in terms of the, like, what I really like from Shadows, the seasons, Yotei still has, oh, this region is the snow region. Oh, this region is the foresty, fiery region. And that's what I liked about Shadows, where, and I still think that's wild, and I hope more open world games do that, the whole map suddenly filled with snow during winter. Like, I love that seasons feature. So that's, of course, something that Shadows has over Yotei. But as I talked about, like, the exploration in Shadows, I really think it's to me kind of wild that we've had an Elden Ring, we've had a Red Dead Redemption 2, and Ubisoft is still kind of stuck in the past in terms of, exciting exciting open world activities. It's still very much the icon on the map doing the same activity. Like, all the knowledge point activities are so similar and they have no twists whatsoever. And that is what Yotei does way better. Sure, you do the same activities, but they're always slightly different. And that is very exciting. So I really hope that for the next Assassin's Creed, that is like a big open world. They finally, like, I think the mysteries in Valhalla were a step in that direction, where you would come to a abandoned farmhouse and then find someone and they had a small little 10-minute story. I think the rewards were never exciting. Like, there's still a lot they can do with that. And knowing that's a mystery beforehand, like, that's another cool part about Yotei. They have side missions, but when you start it, you don't know how long it's gonna go. Is it like a 10-minute mission? Is it like a 4? Like, there's way more mystery, and there's way more... I wanna explore every corner, because I don't know what I'm gonna get. And in Shadows, it's more like, okay, I wanna explore every corner because I wanna get every viewpoint, but I rarely find a cool new activity that I've not experienced before, or a cool, like the Mythic Tales in Ghost of Yotei. They're some of the best content because they go crazy. You go to very unique locations, gameplay twists that they only use for that mission. Yeah, that's what Shadows is really lacking. In terms of combat, again, I said stealth. I think the Shadows stealth is totally better. In terms of combat, I like the Shadows combat a lot too. But I do think I actually think it's kind of like depending on your preference. But obviously, what they went for in Shadows with the weapons, every weapon can work against every target. And that, of course, kind of makes sense. But how it works in Yotei is it's the rock, paper, scissors thing. So sure, you can use the Kusarigama against every enemy, but you would be kind of, like, stupid to do so. Because there is a weapon in your arsenal that is better than the Kusarigama. So the Kusarigama is great against, like shield-wearing enemies. So when an enemy does not wear a shield, you're doing less stagger damage to break their guard. So it's way smarter to go to the Yari Spear or go to the Dual Blades. And, like, you can break the stagger bar, like break the guard with the Kusarigama, but it's just super hard. While in Shadows, every weapon, works against every enemy. So it's kind of like what you want. Do you like that stances system, that rock, paper, scissors gameplay? Then Yotei is the better combat for you. If you prefer being able to use every weapon against every enemy, how you want that, then I think Shadows will be better for you. But to be fair, the Odashi does a lot. Like it makes a lot of stuff better. Like I said in the review, that's the big sword, because you can upgrade that to basically just be the big sword wielding person, and I love that. So, I think overall both games are great. I really care for an interesting open world. I really want to get lost. I want to be surprised, and I kind of like the thing with the Ubisoft games. I love them too, but I kind of know what I can expect, right? And with Yotei, I'm constantly surprised by the cool, funny things they try, and I want more of that in Shadows. So, yeah, in that regard, I go for Yotei. But obviously, I like both games. It's kind of like what you want out of these experiences. Like, if you like more stealth, then Shadows is probably something you prefer more. Yeah, of course, here, I love following your 100% guide. So are you doing this for the game? Yeah, obviously, we're doing a lot of spoiler-free tips and tricks. So make sure you check out the main channel as well. We'll leave a link to that in the pinned comment. And if there was something that I did not answer here, I obviously don't want to talk about story spoilers or anything. That's why I did not really go in depth on the story here in this video. But that's something for another time. Okay, thanks for watching. Subscribe. And check out the review if you haven't already by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you soon. Goodbye. Okay, of course we're not leaving. We're not stopping the stream. If you have more questions, drop them. Hopefully that was interesting. I'm gonna quickly add that to the thing here. Boop, boop, boop. Yotei review Q&A. Boom. Boop. 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 Okay, I'm back. Yeah, whoop. Saber Knight, did you do your giveaway yet? No, I'm gonna announce the winners tomorrow. El Kashi says, is it not boring to rush a game before the release date? Well, that's the nice thing. Like, it depends. Sometimes you only get a game 1 week in advance. Then you have to rush. Ghost of Yotei, I got that way before, so I did not really have to rush. Although still with the Claws of Awaji coming out, and like a lot of other stuff, gaming stuff, I did not spend the amount, like I did not only play Yotei, but it is way better than having to rush the game. But obviously, sometimes that's part of it. Obviously, that's not nice, but that's just how it is. That's part of the job, sadly. Dr. Draco says, do you feel Yotei is more worth... Dr. Draco says, do you feel Yotei is worth a full price game, or does it feel more like a large DLC? It's totally worth full price. One of the things that I said is that it feels more like a redo of Tsushima than a sequel to the game. And that is because of the unlocks. They really repurpose a lot of the things that Jin could do and gave them to Atsu. And if you, like me, played Ghost of Tsushima for a really, really long time and did all the content, etc., then a lot of the unlocks will not be new. You've already used them before. So that's, I think, a huge thing that's kind of holding this game back. But that does not mean that it's not a great game. again, the open world is so much better. So, saying it's a big DLC does not do this game justice. There's so much new stuff in this game, and it's also been 5 years. So, unless you've been playing Tsushima non-stop, then I think the jump might not be that high. But no, this really feels like a true sequel. I think it's worth the full price for sure. You're gonna get 50 hours of quality content, and that is really, really sick in this day and age, I think. So, no, 100% full price worth it. Is it a better sequel than Horizon Forbidden West was? That is a really good question. Yeah, is Ghost of Yotei a better sequel than Horizon Forbidden West was? Boo. I think it's hard. I want to go back to Forbidden West at some point, because I do think I've been getting harder on it, while I don't think so. I think Forbidden West is the better sequel, because I think Forbidden West is it pushes the series forward. We can fly now. We have a lot of huge new machines with new mechanics. Every playstyle that was in Zero Dawn and kind of hinted at, like the Machine Master, like being able to override machines, it's now a full playstyle. Melee, sure you could do it in Zero Dawn, now a full playstyle. A lot of new weapons. I really think that they took the Zero Dawn thoughts and ideas and pushed it to the next level. Even though maybe the story did not hit for people as much as Zero Dawn did. Yotei is more we have Tsushima, we made that, people loved it, let's do it again. And that doesn't mean that it's the same game, but it does mean that, okay, what can we improve from Ghost of Tsushima? The world and the open world, it's amazing. The open world exploration, it's amazing. But we are starting with a new character, so we're still not as OP as kind of Aloy was at the start. And yeah, they're not really building on a lot of systems like they were for Forbidden West. Not a lot of playstyles and stuff. Still, by the end of the game, Atsu is kind of similar to Jin. While Aloy at the end of Forbidden West, completely different character than Aloy at the end of Zero Dawn. So, I don't think that means that the one is better than the other. It really depends on what you want from these games. Because I think that Forbidden West played it too safe in regards to the open world. That was really your checklist, icons on the map, open world. Fine, but I wish they would have gone a bit further. I think that game, for having this world taken over by machines and hearing a sound, you're like, what the heck is that machine? And I think they can do way more with mystery and exploration, and Yotei has that. It is really, okay, where am I going next? What will I encounter there? So yeah, that's, I think, Yotei pushes the open world nature forward, but in terms of what Ghost of Tsushima was, it kind of stays the same. And I think Forbidden West pushes what Horizon is forward and what the gameplay of Horizon is capable of forward. But in terms of open world, it kind of stays the same. So it's kind of two different sides of it. But I would say, so Forbidden West feels more like the sequel. But Yotei, I totally get why people would say Yotei is the better game. I'm still undecided. I like Horizon a bit more, I think. But hey, it's one of my favorite series, so... Are the side quests more varied? Big thing I wanted improved. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Again, all the side content is amazing in Yotei. I played Tsushima so long ago. I should be alright. Oh yeah, I think that's actually a bonus for this game. I've replayed it 3 times. Nice. Forbidden West is great fidelity, 100%. I love both Horizon games. Some of the best games ever, for sure. For sure, Alan. I think both games are still an evolution rather than a revolution. It's not the Zelda Skyward Sword to Breath of the Wild. So, yeah. But I think that's kind of the thing with all the Sony sequels, to be honest with you. And I think they're really in a difficult position with these games. Because in the comments, I see people say, oh, it's more Tsushima? That's all I needed to hear. So I really think if they completely went another direction, they would probably alienate a lot of people. But that does mean, and that's what we see kind of on the critic side, they're all like, you've already played this before. It lacks impact. It's not Elden Ring. And I get that, but yeah, it's not trying to be. But I do think the PlayStation Studios focusing on these sequels for their popular games, it is holding them kind of back in that regard, in terms of making an impact. And that's why I'm really curious about Intergalactic, because I do think that, like, that is what Naughty Dog being able to go to a different level, because nobody knows what Intergalactic is, so they can shape that. And I think that's... So I would be maybe fine with Sucker Punch moving on after this. Do something new. They did say, though, that they're still going to do third-person open-world games. So that's at least exciting. When finally New Horizon games? I don't know, Marvin. I mean, we had every year a New Horizon game. It's just not the games we want. Lego Horizon, the remaster last year. Year before, we had Burning Shores. Year before that, Call of the Mountain. Or was Call of the Mountain... No, was Burning Shores... Call of the Mountain and Burning Shores were in the same year. But yeah, basically we had something Horizon almost every year. More details on the Xbox handheld? Is it like the PlayStation Portal? No. Memphis Blue. The Xbox handheld is basically an ROG Ally. This device, but with a controller attached to it. It's basically like this. Oh my god! I created an ROG. I already have it. The Xbox handheld. You see it here first. That is basically what it is. But yeah. Lego Horizon was okay. Yeah, I don't want to know. I don't want to listen to a kid's version of Zero Dawn. PS5 Pro worth it over base PS5 for Yote? I think it's hard. I think the PS5 Pro has not, like, this first year with the console has not been a, whoa, you need to get it. But I do think, of course, the longer we get into the generation, the more of these games will be. It's just that the Sony exclusives are fewer and far between. Yote has an exclusive PS5 Pro mode. So that's kind of cool. But, and it has, like, better resolution for the performance mode. So. Ron says, do you think the Metacritic at 87 is accurate for Yote? Yes, 100%. I would give it, like, an 88. Does Yote have a good random encounters like Red Dead Redemption 2? Yes, Farhan. But they are not random, but they feel random, if that makes sense. But I think in Red Dead they were... Yeah, in Red Dead they were also kind of random, but obviously still put in that spot. I feel random encounters... To me, random encounters are... where if I go to that spot, I don't encounter it. But if you go to that spot, you see it. And then for me, it's like somewhere else. That's what I call a random encounter. That is like randomly somewhere in the world. But I think both games have handcrafted encounters. Because they're just encounters, basically. But yeah, if you go there, you will encounter that too. But it will feel like the world is alive. There are people hunting me. It will feel great. Nick Hill says, do you think we will get a new Infamous game? No. Sony, they have no reason to do that. They have no reason to do that. They will say, if you want superhero games, play Wolverine or Spider-Man. I finally want to hear more about Horizon 3 and Horizon Online. Yeah, me too. Let's hope we had it. TK Gamer, hey, what's your thoughts on Borderlands 4? I'm surprised you didn't cover this game yet with tips and tricks. Yeah, TK Gamer, that's kind of the crazy part, and that is a nice segue into our next topic that we're gonna discuss. And Elena, I agree, by the way. Can't wait for the next game and new monsters and regions we can explore. I totally agree. But yeah, like that is kind of the thing. September was crazy. We had the Claws of Awaji DLC launching in the same week as Borderlands. We did, of course, the Claws guide for Borderlands, but we had Ghost of Yotei, the game, before Borderlands. So at one point, Dennis and I were discussing, and we were like, okay, either you can now work on Borderlands 4 coverage. Like, again, I was busy with the Assassin's Creed stuff and other content, and I had at one point to go to Yotei for the review. Or, Dennis, you can go do Yotei content, and then we have a lot prepared for when the game comes out in a few days. And that is what we decided to do. So, it's really the release. Like, Dying Light the Beast, we completely skipped that. We made a ton of Dying Light 2 videos. I would have loved to make Dying Light the Beast content if that was the only game that came out, but that was not the case. So, we have to make choices, sadly, and that is the choice we made. And I think that's the good choice. But yeah, I've not played Borderlands 4. It's really weird to see that game going and not knowing anything about it. I'm like looking at it and like, looks kind of cool. I have it installed. I want to play it. But I want to finish Yotei, do everything first. Yeah. I bought a PS5 Pro at launch from Target with a 15 discount with cash. That's nice. Also, that is indeed very nice. Also because you can sell your base PS5 and it's more expensive now. I think you could probably sell your old PS5 for $400 if you have a disc drive. That's pretty crazy. We have some interesting more questions and then we move on to the topic. So Raiden is asking, what is up with Ubisoft not revealing the Sense of Time remake trailer? It got delayed internally or something? I really think they might go for a shorter reveal to release timing. But I agree, it's kind of weird. I thought it was going to be at the State of Play. That would have made sense for me. But we don't know. We don't know. Max asking, what do you think the consequences of the delay for GTA 6 have had on the PS5 era? Well, Max, I don't think it had an impact yet. I think it will have an impact when it inevitably comes out. But so far, I don't think it had an impact yet. Maybe. So, if we like look at it. Oh, I see Raiden now changed the comment, but I'm still gonna answer it. I still saw it. Maybe if the GTA 6 came out this holiday season, so in 4 weeks, I think that would have made an impact, because it seems that a lot of people are still stuck on PS4. And I do think the moment GTA comes out, many people will jump finally to the next generation. And I think that will benefit everyone, because Capcom has, for example, said Monster Hunter Wilds not selling as well because people are not buying PS5s because it's so expensive. Like what always happens in a generation is, of course, the console comes out, you wait a few years, and they can buy it for a cheaper price. Has not happened. So, people that are buying the console now, like, there are still many people that are waiting for that cannot afford the console at $550. So, they are waiting for the $300. Like, the PS4 at this point was already way, way cheaper. So, way more people that first did not buy it would buy it. So, I think that is an impact that the GTA 6 delay has. That if it came out earlier, if it did come out this year, more people would have jumped to the next gen. And that would have, in the end, benefited Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Because, yeah, they are probably, I mean, maybe they would have sold like 200,000, 300,000 extra copies if the game was also on PS4 and Xbox One. Like, that's like quite a lot of money. But yeah, and of course a lot of other developers as well. So, yeah, we will have to wait and see. But it will inevitably come out and, of course, be big. Wolverine, an open world game like Spider-Man? No. It's going to be a linear game, I think. It's going to be, rather short. Like a 12 or 15 hour campaign and then not a lot of replayability. That's my prediction. El Kashi says, did you follow all the games shown at the current TGS? Did I miss anything? If I missed anything, like me said. Yes, I see comments saying I only bought a PS5 for GTA 6, yeah. And the crazy part is, you can like buy a PS6, buy a PS5 right now, because it will probably not be cheaper when GTA 6 come out, and then already play Yotei and other games. Kind of hoping that Wolverine will not be open world at all. It's not gonna be, probably. Okay, it's time for another Optica Gamer Monster Wells collab with Final Fantasy 14. Really good so far. That's awesome to hear. That's awesome to hear. They needed a win for that game. Okay, we're gonna move on to another video that I'm excited to talk about. So of course, I will then not be looking at the chat for a brief moment, and then afterwards we can discuss it. We can discuss it. During the most recent state of play, one thing became clear. 2026 is going to be wild. We're now early October, and already a lot of games for 2026 have been confirmed, and we know that way more are coming. So in this video, I want to look at the crazy year that even at this point we already know we're going to have, and that insane bloodbath that will happen at some point. We already know it's gonna be wild. I have to find a way to clone myself, otherwise I cannot keep up. So let's look at this very nice website. Let's give them a shout out, gameranx, because they have some images with the releases. So January is of course pretty slow. What usually happens, everyone spends all their money during Christmas. People have no money to spend, and then at the end of January you get your first salary again, and then you're like, oh, let's see what new games come out. Code Vein 2. That's the first like big one. I know people are excited. Let me know if you're excited for Code Vein 2. It's not really a game for me, but happy if you are excited. Neo 3 is another kind of big one. I know people are looking forward to the Dragon Quest 7 reimagined. The Deus Ex remaster did not look that good, but happy there's more Deus Ex, even though we know a new game is not coming. So yeah, we're kind of starting kind of slowish. Although again, we're now in October. It's still there. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. New Yakuza is coming as well. Mario Tennis, High on Life 2. Of course, the first game was pretty big on Game Pass. And then the first big one, Resident Evil Requiem. Kind of has in terms of AAA, kind of has the month for itself as of now. I really think we will see way more coming to February. But this is where it gets crazy. Monster Hunter 3, Twisted Reflection, so that's Monster Stories. Dynasty Warriors, like remaster. Crimson Desert finally has a release date, March 19th, 2026. This is a game, I think, easily 100 hours. If you want to do everything, it's gonna be massive. I was lucky enough to play it a few times, only played like small sections. I was already playing for an hour, and it was crazy. And of course, that new trailer showed so much stuff. I cannot wait. I really hope they deliver. Maybe it will be delayed again, but 2026 is such an interesting year. We will get to that in a moment. Then, a day after that, Saros, the new game from the Returnals makers. It is basically Returnal 2, different character. I saw a tweet from Jordan Midler from Video Game Chronicles saying he heard some cool things about the game. Like, the state of play, the gameplay they showed, awesome. It looks great. I love the setting. But yeah, it's more Returnal. It's like that type of gameplay. But we know Returnal had some sort of first-person horror in the house segments. Like, maybe this game has some surprises still up its sleeve. And then the game I am also really excited about, 007 First Light, Uncharted meets Hitman. And yeah, like I'm all for, like, where is Uncharted? I want the new Uncharted. IO Interactive is like, we know Uncharted 4 came out 10 years ago. Here we have 007 First Light. I cannot wait for this game. I don't know how I'm gonna finish Crimson Desert in a week to play this game. But this is where it gets interesting. So why are all these games here? Two reasons. One, financial years. A lot of the financial years ends in March. And then the new one starts in April. So it's like 12 months from April. So if you still want the game to, like, the revenue from the game and the pre-orders that you get to count for your current financial year, you have to launch in March. So way more games are going to be here. I think Ubisoft is going to have a big one here, and I will touch on that in a second. But the other reason is, if you are at the end of March, you're still safe. You are 2 months before GTA 6. It's funny to me that we have all these games in March and February, and April is being skipped. There are no April games, again, because that is in the other financial year. So, and you are close to GTA 6. GTA 6 will obviously, like, they will be the talk of the town for a really long time before launch. Like, I would not be surprised if we see the next GTA 6 trailer maybe end of this year or maybe even early, and then the marketing cycle starts, and then they drop a new screenshot every week, and every screenshot everyone will, oh my god. You like, especially what we see now with creators, like that's what happened in September. I wanted to cover Borderlands, Dying Light. I have no time because Shadows DLC and the Yotei, of course, is coming out. So that's my focus. Here I'm already like, how can I cover these games? With GTA 6, everyone is going to cover GTA. So you, of course, want to stay clear from that. Another thing is, though, maybe it gets delayed. If this game, and I still think it's going to get delayed to October, we will then see, oh, April is suddenly a safe spot. Oh, May is suddenly a safe spot, right? So it's going to be fascinating. But that would suck for all the games coming out later in the year. This was crazy. During the State of Play, they announced the Halloween game. And I was like, okay, Halloween next year? What the heck? And then we still have some games that we know are coming, but they have no date yet. And I will talk about some rumored ones in a moment. It is that pirate game. I'm not sure if you remember that from an older State of Play. It looked kind of cool. Let's see. Of course, let me know what games you're looking forward to in 2026 so far. Lord of the Fallen 2. I can see that being pushed out to early 2027. I think it's pretty ambitious that they already want to launch the sequel here. Star Wars Hero Company, of course, the tactics game. Forza Horizon 6 was announced. Only for Xbox and PC, later to PS5, so that will probably be in 2027. No, Elder Scrolls 6 is not going to come, but Fable is another one. The Plague Tale game, the new one, that's totally going to happen. Onimusha, still waiting for a release date. I think that's going to be a February title, but they're waiting. I'm curious when they're going to launch that. The Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake, that should also launch in January, February, or March. I think it's going to be end of January or like February, but it's kind of wild that we have not seen that yet. We, of course, learned Wolverine is fall 2026, and there are way more. Pragmata, another one. I know people are looking forward to this game, the new horror from Supermassive. So that is that. That is what we know will happen with the nice images. There's more, though. Because I already said Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time. Well, that is for Ubisoft's current financial year, which again ends in March. Another big game they have for that window is the Black Flag remake. I think, if we go back here, I think the Black Flag remake, we already had a rumor about the Black Flag remake and how one source to Jeux Video said that they don't know if they're going to make it. Because March is now the planned date for it. That means it's probably going to be late March. They need all the time to still launch in the financial year, get it out. It's going to, like, my prediction is it's going to be the same week as Crimson Desert or the same week as 007. Black Flag remake. Lock it in. That's what I think, and that's going to be crazy. But Ubisoft has more. So, Project Over is the next mainline Ghost Recon game. Like, they have a huge pipeline, of course. Not all of them will be 2026. I only want to focus on 2026 things. I think the Ghost Recon game is going to be 2026. Breakpoint came out in 2019. So, 7 years later, they're finally going to launch a new game. Sounds about right. We had a rumor that it's entering, like, internal alpha, and that it usually takes a year for them to come out. So, I think they might aim this in, like, September to be before the Call of Duty of the world, because it's going to be first person this time. And then they have still time for Hexay, because that's going to be the big Assassin's Creed release, seemingly planned for November 2026. This is the game from the Valhalla makers. So that's another big 2026 game. I think the Splinter Cell remake also 2026, right? This from the Far Cry 6 team. They did Far Cry 6 in 2021. So, yeah, 5 years later. Again, for a remake, do you really want to spend more than 5 years on that? I mean, Ubisoft is weird, but I can see that be another 2026 game. I think Far Cry is 2027, and then we have some other titles as well. Let's see what else we have. Because what we also learned, and this is what Phil Spencer said during the Xbox showcase. I'm excited to share that players will get to celebrate the 25 years of Xbox with a new Fable, Forza, Gears of War, E-Day, and a return of a classic that has been with us since the beginning. And in 2026, it will mark the 25 years since the release of the first Xbox. So basically, he's saying, of course, things can still change. In 2026, we will have Forza Horizon 6. We know that that's going to be happening. We will have Fable. We will have Gears of War E-Day. And we have the return of a classic. I mean, that has to be the Halo remake that they're kind of like in Unreal Engine 5 that they're doing. And that seemingly is going to launch on PS5 as well. So that would, of course, be huge. But yeah, Xbox is going to get crazy. And they probably have more. Like, they're planning a Starfield sort of rebirth or whatever you want to call it. It's likely going to launch on PS5. So you got that. Is Bethesda going to do something else? Blade seems further away. But yeah, like, it's going to be kind of crazy for them. I hope that this game from them is coming out next year. Although, to be fair, if they need more time, take more time. But I'm really looking forward to Clockwork Revolution. And looking at this gameplay and the trailer and how long this is, 5 minutes... That's crazy to me if that game doesn't come out next year. Like, that's a lot of... They showed a lot. It's like this was a trailer that you normally show for a game that is out next week. But, hey, they are here revealing that, which is kind of crazy. But we have more games. We know The Blood of Dawnwalker. I saw that at Gamescom. I loved what I saw. This is the new game from the ex-former CD Projekt Red folks, basically veterans who worked on The Witcher 3. Really, really cool open world game coming in 2026. Let's quickly look at some gameplay. Wait, there's some new stuff, right? Yeah, it's of course like during nighttime you have the vampire powers. And during daytime you're more like a regular soldier with a sword. But still some magic abilities, but... Yeah, here you can do very cool traversal. I think they're going to do it here. But yeah, I think this game is going to be very special. I think I have a good... I have good hope for this. But yeah, that's another big 2026 game where you can easily spend 50 hours in, likely. We know Atomic Heart 2. I love the look of the trailer, of course. We have to wait and see, but that's also seemingly coming in 2026. Remember this game? Marvel Rise of Hydra. With the younger Captain America and the Black Panther first fighting and then working together in World War II. Made by Amy Hennig, of course, the director on Uncharted 4. And, not Uncharted 4. She left Naughty Dog during Uncharted 4, but she, of course, did the other Uncharted games. It's still wild that we've not seen anything from this game. I think it's going to be a Game Awards, yo, we're back, and you can pre-order, and it's coming out in March. Probably. It would be crazy. This is another game. Phantom Blade Zero, of course, got to play it at Gamescom and Summer Game Fest the year before, actually. And yeah, they are going to announce the release date at the end of this year. But I think it would be wild if they are announcing a January 2027 release date. So it's probably going to be a 2026 release date. And this game is... gonna be very, very cool if you like heavy action games. Cool setting, really cool weapons. They all have their own unique twist. And it's not a Souls-like, while the structure is kind of similar. It's more forgiving. Still has the cool boss fights and stuff. But this is really the close to Wukong, I think, that will happen. But to be fair, and let's end it on this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what all the other games are like. this is gonna be the big one. I think it's gonna launch 2026, 100%, but I think it's gonna be in October. But yeah, I can't wait. So yeah, 2026 will be a big year. I worry, and we've already seen that. Like, we had the Hell Is Us story, of course, where because Silksong announced the release date, it was on the same day as Hell Is Us, it likely hurt the sales for Hell Is Us by quite a lot. We're gonna have way more stories like that, where there are just too many games coming out in a small window, and it's gonna hurt them. And there's not enough time to play. Creators have to make choices. And yeah, that's like one part of it, but that does mean that, like, I do think that if we are playing a game together, like Shadows or another game, I enjoy playing a game more, knowing that I can also watch videos on it, knowing that I can check some tips and tricks, some streams from people, knowing that there's basically a community of people playing it as well. And the moment there are many games, people have to make choices, and it usually means that some games are not gonna get the coverage, the community that they might deserve if they launched in another period. But it's gonna be hard, and it's been a while since I saw the trailer, but looks of course amazing. 2026 is gonna be exciting. Let me know if you have forgot any games, what you are looking forward to, and I will speak to you soon. Goodbye. Of course, we're still doing the stream, don't worry. Let's catch up on some more games. Is Black Ops 8 on your list? Oh my god, no. It's likely gonna be the Sledgehammer game, right? It's not gonna be Black Ops. No info about the next Final Fantasy VII or Jedi Survivor? No. Sadly not. I think they're gonna be announced next year and then launch maybe in 2027. Hey Jor, do you think we will have a surprise big game that will come out at the end of 2025? Or this is it for the year? Yeah, RoboWizzo, I don't expect... I mean, we still have the Mirage update. We have the Avatar DLC. So Ubisoft is dropping some things. I still hope there's like something big for Shadows. Last year they announced the crossover for Valhalla. Last year, like a year after the launch of Valhalla, they had the crossover with Odyssey, which was like some surprise content. Usually December has some big launches for live service games in particular, and Shadows is kind of a live service game. But yeah, I'm not expecting any big games. I do think that Where Winds Meet will turn some heads. I do think that will be a moment. That people will enjoy that. And it will be a nice game to sink your teeth into. But yeah, now, like for me, after now having finished Yote, I'm gonna do everything in that game. There is no other game coming out this year that I want to play. That is still coming out. So I'm gonna like catch up with other games that I've not played yet. Hopefully a new AC game in 2026. Yeah, we will probably get Black Flag and Hexe in 2026. So what do you mean? Can you please repeat when you said the financial year ends in March? In March? What do you mean? Any early announcement expectations for the Game Awards, Mr. Bowley? Who? Yeah, I think Ubisoft has to do something. PlayStation, I don't know. I hope the Santa Monica game. It's more hope. I really have to dig into predictions for Game Awards as we get closer. But I think we're in that weird period where we might see some game announcements that will be for the PS6. But then still cross-gen. Like, of course, we saw Witcher. Did we see Witcher during... I think we saw Witcher, right? During the Game Awards. A new Metro? I feel like Metro. Where's Metro? Last Final Fantasy VII was announced at Game Awards. Maybe they do Final Fantasy VII. But I think Kingdom Hearts is first, right? That's why games are releasing in March, and why? Yeah, because then they are still part of the current financial year. So, of course, in April and May, the companies report how well they did for the previous year. And if that doesn't look great, then their stock goes down. If they still have a big game at the end of March, then they can basically save a year. Like, if Ubisoft doesn't launch the Black Flag remake this financial year, their books are going to look very bad, because what did they launch? Rainbow Six Siege X? That game already did well. Shadows, they launched that, of course. That helped. But, yeah, Ubisoft has a lot of games in the next financial year. So, any game they can still put in this financial year would basically make the year look better. Like, every company wants to grow. When people buy stocks, they are not expecting them to go down in value. They expect them to go up. So, if your financial year doesn't look great, if it did not go up, that's a bad sign. So, that's sadly how these companies operate. But what we usually see and what is usually the best way forward is not thinking short term. Like, that's what CDPR did. They launched Cyberpunk. Like, their financial year is the regular year. They launched Cyberpunk in December at the end, like almost the final week of December. And that was so that they could still get the pre-orders, get the money from that game in that financial year. But that was short term, because if they delayed the game again, put all the patches in and stuff like that, because it's way harder to work on a game after it's already out versus, working on the game while it's not out yet. Because you obviously get way more input from players, than maybe some things that you wanted to fix are like lower on the priority list because people have other issues that you did not foresee. So I think Cyberpunk, if they launched a year later, it would have probably sold way more. Their financials in general would have looked better, but their financial year, the year before, would have looked very bad. So that's sadly what we're seeing. But yeah, it is a big deadline for a lot of developers to still have it in their financial year. But sometimes it works. I mean, I think it's good to have deadlines as well, because otherwise you can just keep chugging along. But sometimes, if a game is not ready and they push it, and they still launch it, that of course that might be nice short term, you get money, but long term the game has a bad word of mouth. Rainbow Six Siege, the biggest franchise, most profitable franchise for Ubisoft has. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that I know, but I'm not sure what X did for them. Like, they've been hyping that up. X is gonna reinvent blah blah blah, but I don't think it like made them more money or anything. And that's of course what they care about. It solidified their, like, it made the game. It created a new foundation for the future. But RoboWizzo, as I just said, Far Cry 7, I think it will be 2027. Ubisoft has a lot of games. There are a lot of other games coming out. Ghost Recon is first person as well. I think Far Cry 7 is... They maybe want to have it in March 2027. We will see. Yote multiplayer will probably come out in March too. Doc, that could be right. You could be right. Yeah, I'm expecting some sort of Santa Monica announcement at least in 2026. As of Ubisoft, I don't really think they will have anything special for the Game Awards. We will see, Mr. Bowley. I do think they will. Like, Black Flag would be perfect, or Prince of Persia. Oh yeah, did you add the Witcher 4 release date? I mean, Witcher 4 is not coming out in 2026. So I think that's the end of the stream. I think we went over everything. Thanks as always for joining. I'll be back next week, and of course I will stream Yote as well this week. I cannot talk about it more, but it will be a spoiler-free open world stream on the main channel. So yeah. Thanks as always for joining. I love doing these streams. Love having you around. And expect a lot of spoiler-free tips and tricks for Yote this week. Goodbye. Thanks, Brock.